Evening all. Hello, how you going? I'm trying not to start talking until we've gone live. So if there's an awkward pause at the beginning of the session, then that's just what happens. Alison, you've shop bought from a local place used to buy Indian from in the 90s. What could go wrong? Indeed. Yes, I made my bhaji batter about an hour ago and put it in the fridge, and while we took the dogs for a walk, and it went all wet and soggy. So Pete's fixing it. Hopefully they'll be good. I hope other people's are better than mine because the smell's delicious. It's just getting them to hold together is a bit tricky. Oh, got a crooked necklace. There we go, fix that up. There we go, beautiful. So how is everyone? I think that we're a bit light on with people today. I guess it is the Easter holidays. I know some people have gone away. Fiona, you got yours professionally made, very sensible. The recipe looked really easy. That was my first mistake. Yes, I know some people are away. It's Easter holidays, school holidays, and it's been the most glorious day today. I wouldn't blame people if they decided to go to the beach rather than come and do drinks with Kate with us, but that's okay. Craig salted his onions early and squeezed them. It sounds like you've done this before, Craig. I'll take that tip for next time. Hello, Sarah. How are you? Lovely to have the tricks back on board. Alison, I know, it's been gorgeous. Hello, Shell. You made red lentil dal. Yes, good work. I was thinking dal would be pretty nice with this wine. Speaking of this wine, we've got an extra dog here tonight. We've got Oscar here tonight, and he's old and senile, which is not the problem at the moment. Polly is being a brat because she went for a swim and now she's wet and cold. But once she starts barking, he starts barking, but he can't hear people telling him to shut up. So it could all go horribly wrong very quickly. But let's get some wine in our glass so that we've got something to console ourselves with anyway. Pinot Gris on Skins, 2023. So when I put this wine in the Drinks with Kate box, we had a little bit left. So the whole idea was this is the last of it. You can buy what's left and move through it. But since then, between then and now, it's all sold out. So Leonie said, bad luck. This is your last chance to drink it unless you've got some in your cellar, which I think is probably fair. But yeah, I think it's one of those wines that, for me, it's looking better than it has the whole time we've been selling it. It's my ridiculous dog. Polly, what are you doing? So this is what I'm having to contend with tonight. I think you might have to get out the cashew nuts, Richard. Yes, so the wine, and we looked at the 2024. Polly, shush, stop it. We looked at the 2024 a few weeks ago, and again, looking at the colour of this, it's quite different, isn't it, coming back to the 23. I know that quite a lot of you have had this as a bit of a house favourite for a little while, so you're probably more familiar with this at the moment than the 24. But we've got, particularly also as the outside light is fading, and I've got my round light on, Shell, so hopefully I won't descend into too much shadow. But it's bringing out all those lovely rosy hues in the wine, making it very, very beautiful to look at. As you know, I do like to have a little drink of this wine in a Pinot Noir glass. So I don't know what other people have chosen, but I think that the Pinot Noir glass is really good for bringing out all the perfumes and aromatics of the wine. Hello, Jeff. How are you going? Have you got Sue with you? I think she might have had a big day with the grandchildren. So hopefully you're having a glass of wine now. Isn't it beautiful? It smells just gorgeous. It's just all of the top notes have kind of resolved in this wine. Craig's saying that it stands up to the spice. Shell's saying it's good and you wish you'd bought some before it ran out. Indeed. The strawberry fruit is coming through. There you go, Richard. Oh, thanks, Pete. Peter's brought me some budgies. There you go. The hot ones are on the bottom. He's a true professional, isn't he? All right, I'm going to taste the wine without the food, even though it's making my... Hello, Sue. The food is making my mouth water, but so is the wine. So gorgeous strawberry fruit and a little bit... Oh, Alison, there is a museum stash for future drinks with Kate. That is essentially just another one bottle for each of us if the group stays at about this size. So I think we've put 4 dozen aside, so we can't sell you anymore, but we will get in the next couple of years, we'll drop it into another box. So we'll see how it's evolved. I really do think that this is I think the 2024 will be as good, if not better, in the future. But right now, I think this is the best Pinot Gris on skins that we've made. Certainly up until the point of the 23, I think this was a real step up. It's got such a gorgeous aroma. Strawberries, there's rose petals. I can smell the cumin in my onion bhajis now coming up, and it's bringing out the spice in the wine as well. And the wine on its own has this lovely, refreshing, crunchy kind of... I was reading an article in the latest Vogue Entertaining and Travel, anyway, whatever that magazine's called. And they're talking about restaurants using green strawberries in savoury dishes. And there's a bit of that kind of green strawberry kind of crunch to the palate of this wine. It's a little bit sour, but it's still got that little strawberry kind of flavour to it, which I think is rather lovely. Okay, going to have it with some food now because I can't not. Strawberries and cream lollies. Yeah, I think so, Alison. I think that's right. So that's my onion bhaji. We had to put a bit more Bisan flour in there, so it's a bit heavy on the flour, but because it's Bisan flour, it's still quite light and lovely. Yum. Delicious. Thanks, Pete. Well done. So the chickpea flour and the spice and the little bit of chili there is bringing out some earthy notes in the wine, some more savouriness in the wine, but also those top notes, those strawberry top notes are looking really good with the food. Hello, Kim. Lovely to have you online again. Welcome back. Yeah, enjoy it at home when you get home. I hope life's good. It was really nice to see you pop up on the orders the other day. So lovely to have you back for Drinks with Kate. Also, there's quite a few people who've jumped back in. The Tricks, I haven't seen you for a little while, but it's lovely to have you back as well. And hopefully we'll keep enticing people back to Drinks with Kate for a while. If you only haven't ordered the tandoori chicken from your local before, glad you reported to. Yeah, absolutely. I reckon tandoori chicken is a very good match for a wine like this. Pink and pink, bit of spice, ticks all the boxes. So it sounds like it's a good tandoori chicken, Fiona. Does it go well with the wine is my big question. I've just got the bhajis, but I'm pretty happy with that. Craig, you went half Bisan, half corn flour with the bicarb. Excellent, nice. Kevin, we're never organised enough to have done any cooking prior, but it's working well with corn chips and salsa. Absolutely, I think it would work very well with corn chips and salsa. I was very tempted to go down the Mexican route tonight with this wine, and one of these days we'll do it because I think this wine will work really well with tomatoey, chili, Mexican flavours as well. I've got a really good recipe for I think it's called like cocktail, something like that in Mexican. It's basically a prawn cocktail, but instead of having sort of lettuce and rosemary sauce on it, it's got this fiery hot tomatoey sauce that the prawns hang into, and it's pretty delicious. And I reckon that'd give this wine a bit of a run for its money, but I think it could handle it. Alison wants to know if 16 degrees is too warm. Does that feel like it's too warm for you? I think I like to drink this wine at sort of 14 to 16 degrees. On a warm night like tonight, you could make it a little bit cooler and it'll come up to temperature more quickly. So that would make it a bit more refreshing if it was a little bit colder. But having it at 16 degrees, you're treating it, as I've told you many times before, like a light red wine. And I think it's a really good temperature to drink this at. It sort of depends on what you're looking for from the wine. So at 16 degrees, then the tannins are going to be softer. The fruit's going to be richer. That strawberry fruit and the sort of rhubarby, there's almost like a salted plum, Japanese kind of a flavour profile there. That all comes up more as the wine gets warmer. But if you serve it cooler, then it tastes a bit more refreshing. It tastes a little bit more like a lighter red wine or a white wine. Fiona's was 12 when it started, but warmed up quite a bit. Yep, for sure. Yeah, I don't know what, you guys will know better than me what the temperature is outside, but I'm overdressed in my long sleeve t-shirt. I wish I'd had short sleeves today. And it's just been gorgeous, and it's going to be beautiful all weekend down here. So looking forward to that. But on these warmer evenings, getting the wine a bit colder to start off with means that it has a chance to move through the temperatures before it gets too warm, which is a good thing. Yeah. Kevin, I will definitely share the recipe for the cocktail. The Mexicans also make a really lovely chicken soup, which has also got a tomato chili base, and they put avocado in it, which sounds a bit weird because we don't really cook with avocado a lot in our cuisine, but it's a beautiful soup. So as the weather gets cooler, when we have the opportunity to have a wine that's going to work with that, then I might share that recipe with you as well. So yeah, lots of recipes to come. Just trying to work out what works with what. I think also because I've been eating very healthily recently, and lots of salads and not a lot of fried food and not a lot of stodgy food. I was having an absolute craving for stodgy fried frittery things. So thank you for putting up with me and my cravings. If you guys use the recipe that I sent out, it recommended having a dipping sauce. We kind of failed on the dipping sauce side of things. They suggested sweet chili sauce, which I think would be really nice with this wine, or sweet and sour sauce, which I think would be a bit more of a challenge with this wine. But I'm not a huge fan of sweet and sour sauce unless we're at McDonald's having nuggets when I was 12. But I think a sweet chili sauce for this, but also you could use a salted yogurt dipping sauce, or you could do a sauce. They do a sort of a chutney with mint and coriander, and I think it's got a bit of vinegar in it or something to sort of make it wet, but I'm not quite sure. I've had it heaps before, but I've never made it, so I'm not sure what the ingredients are in it. But that's rather yummy for dipping this sort of thing into. It gives a bit of zing and a bit of zest. It's probably got some lemon juice in it as well, if I think about it properly. Mango chutney. I was going to bring my mango chutney from home, but I pulled it out of the fridge and it had furry friends on top of it, so that's gone in the bin. So this doesn't need a dipping sauce, but if you're doing a dipping sauce, I'd be really interested to know how it is without the dipping sauce and then with the dipping sauce, whether it's better and what you're sort of augmenting. Because I think the Green Racer Alison's having, beautiful. I think that's what I was talking about, the Green Racer. I think that's got mint and coriander in it and other stuff maybe. Anyway, Jeff and Sue are talking about pomegranate twang in this wine, and I absolutely think that this wine does have a bit of a pomegranate twang to it, which is rather lovely. Craig, I have not eaten McDonald's for about 10, 12 years. I'm not sure if I can come back to McDonald's with just for you guys to, do the food and wine matching thing. Let me have a think about it. Maybe Maybe with one of the Shirazes, I could do, or a Pinot, I could do sort of a McDonald's style burger. And if you wanted to go crazy and get some macas, then you could do that. But let's have a think about it. About 35 years, Alison. Yeah, I just can't do it. I went on a little eating, drinking, burger matching. I think Craig will do that. But I went to a talk about eating well about 20 years ago, 15, 20 years ago, and the woman who was giving the talk pulled out a Big Mac, and she'd had it for Shell. This is part of the reason. I'll tell you all of my Macca's thing. She'd had this Big Mac for 10 years. The only thing that had gone off was the lettuce. So it still looked like a Big Mac. It had the bread had not gone moldy. The meat had not gone rancid. It had just dried out. All of the bits, and she just pulled it apart. And I just went, Also, Macca's, if you ask a dog if they'd like a bit of hamburger, they'll usually say yes. If you offer most dogs, even not very discerning dogs, a bit of McDonald's, they will not eat it. And I think dogs are much more discerning and less discerning than we are. And if a dog won't eat Macca's, I'm just like, maybe not. It's also slightly ethical. But yeah, it's more about is Macca's really food? I did my when I wrote my dissertation for my honours year in French, I actually did I think I've told you this story a little bit before, but I did my research paper on the McDonald'sization of France and how so dogs rate possum poo over Macca's. Absolutely, Fiona. Mona's Mac. Alison, I still haven't been to Mona, and I'm hoping to go there later this year with some English friends of mine. So I'll know what you're talking about after that, I'm sure. Shell and Andrew's cat Shino will only eat Meredith goat's cheese, turns up her nose at other goat's cheese. Well, cats are much more discerning than dogs. We had a beautiful brown Burmese who lived with us for about 17 or 18 years, and she always loved Pinot Noir. And so when she got to the end of her life and her kidneys were packing up, then Dad opened a really beautiful old bottle of Burgundy to toast to her, and she got a little bit of it as well. It was a nice way for her to go. Cats are very fussy though. Dogs not so much. Polly's barking at Richard because he won't give her any more cashew nuts. She likes cashew nuts. She doesn't like McDonald's. Actually, I don't think she's ever had the chance to say no to McDonald's. I'm not going to give her that chance. All right, enough about Macca's. How's the wine opening up in the glass? So this is one of the questions that people ask me, and you guys have asked me on these sessions in the past, how does this wine age? Now, we know that it's not an old wine yet. It's a 2023. But we've tasted this wine. I think this is the third time we've tasted it together. It's certainly at least a second time. And I know we taste a lot of wine together, but are you getting into the swing of sort of remembering what it tasted like a while ago and then sort of thinking about how it's tasting now? Because for me, it's lost the florals that it had 12 months ago. And that's been replaced with more of that sort of strawberries and cream character, a bit more spice. And I think as it's opening up in the glass, and it could have something to do with the fact that now I've got onion bhajis and spice on my palate as well. It's tasting more savoury. It's tasting more complex. And I'm really loving how it's evolving in the glass. I think the cumin, coriander, fenugreek and chili in the onion bhajis are giving it a bit of a run for its money, but it's fighting back really well, and I think that the flavour profile's really lovely. I can't really work out what the sort of savoury characters are. So if you guys are picking on that, then Craig says the spice is taking away the savoury flavours but bringing forward the creaminess for you. Yeah, I reckon you could be right. Savoury flavours, but it's also taking away that bright strawberry kind of fruit as well, I think. Alison, I rely on Kay for that as well. And Kay, are you here tonight? Have we heard from you? I'm not sure if we have. I think she might have gone travelling. The chicken tikka masala is super spicy, overpowering the wine a bit. I wondered whether it might. Possibly tandoori chicken better because it's less saucy, whereas the chicken tikka masala has got all that kind of sweetness and richness in the sauce as well as the spice. So it's a bit of a challenge for any wine. So I guess if we weren't drinking Moorooduc Estate Pinot Gris on skins and we were at an Indian restaurant, lots of pepper. Yes, pepper can be a bit of a challenge to a wine like this, absolutely. What wine is going to work better with a chicken tikka masala with lots of pepper? Probably a light and juicy Grenache would be delicious with that. Your bhajis were pretty powerful too, Alison. I think I should have put a bit more pepper in my bhaji batter, dough, whatever, mix, whatever you want to call it. But yes, my bhajis, and because Pete had to sort of fix it with a bit extra flour, then they're a bit soft. They're a bit sort of softer flavoured than I thought they were going to be. But that's actually worked out quite well for me. So, if in doubt, add a bit more Bisan flour, and it'll cut through all those spices. If you're buying them from a shop, then yeah, they're probably going to Indian. I think Indian takeaway, like Thai takeaway, if you get it made by people who really understand the culture and the recipes, then the spice will be higher, but it'll be really well balanced with the other flavors. But we have to remember that in India and in Thailand, there's not a tradition of drinking wine. They drink wine now because everybody drinks wine to a certain extent. But culturally, the Indian and Thai cuisine kind of came up with beer and spirits, but mostly beer. If they have a wine style, it'll be more of a rice wine, like a sake kind of a thing. So the grape fruit character of wine, as we know it, is quite difficult to match to these cuisines that are not cuisines that have been sort of developed with wine in mind. If you think about Italian wine and Italian food, you can hardly separate the two. You need to, and when you go to Italy, then wherever you are, the local wine and the local food work really, really well together. Whereas if you kind of stray from that, it can get a little bit scary. In the same way, in France, there's very traditional wine and food matches depending on where you are in France. And French food has, certainly French food can have some spice, as can Italian food. It can have tomato in it, which is difficult to match to some wine styles. But the food and the wine from different regions have grown up together over hundreds of years and have developed to work with each other. When we're trying to match wine to Indian flavours, it's a bit more of a challenge, which is why it's fun. It's why it doesn't always work, and it's why we keep trying. So a lot of people, and I've spoken to a lot of people, mostly in Singapore and Hong Kong, sort of with Asian palates, who are also wine experts. And one of the concepts that is sort of bandied around in wine education is that a really good match to Thai food or spicy food is Gewürztraminer. And you speak to anyone who lives and works and eats and drinks in Thailand or in Singapore or in Hong Kong, and they'll laugh you out the door. And it's been, I have not had anyone who is a wine expert who has who from that region who said, yes, absolutely, Gewürztraminer is a great match to spicy food. They will talk about Pinot Gris being a good match to spicy food. They'll talk about Riesling sometimes. They'll talk about Viognier being a good match to spicy food. Grenache, Pinot Noir can work really well if it's a soft Pinot Noir, not too structured. But yeah, a lot of people have told me that that Gewürztraminer is the go-to with Thai food, but anyone from Thailand or who knows anything about Thai food and wine in the region is like, absolutely not. So interesting. I do think this wine is novel, Alison, and it does have a tomatoey hint to it, which is why, you know, it works really well with tomato-based Italian dishes, and it works really well with tomato-based Indian dishes. As long as that Indian dish, I think I said in my email on Monday, steer clear of anything with coconut milk. I think coconut milk really kind of mucks most wine up. Certainly mucks this wine up because it's got a sweetness to it and a textural quality to it that really gets in the way of wine, whereas yogurt-based curries like a tandoori chicken or a chicken tikka masala can work really, really well. Fiona's saying how interesting how well the wine balances the sweet notes of spicy food. Yeah, absolutely. So, and I think that's a real trick that this wine does, is that it copes with sweeter notes in spicy food and the spicy notes in spicy food and sort of balances them out. Craig met an Indian som and they just went the easy route of fruit-forward whites with curries. I think it's a lot more nuanced than that. I agree. I think it is a lot more nuanced than that. I do think, though, fruit-forward white wines are sort of safe with Indian food. And, in fact, in India, there's now a wine culture. They grow grapes. They make wine in India. One of the biggest wine companies in India is called Sula, S-U-L-A. And they make a lot of aromatic white wine, often with a little bit of residual sugar. And that tends to work quite well with a lot of Indian flavours. But again, a soft, juicy red wine, Grenache, even Malbec, if it's made in a sort of a soft, juicy carbonic maceration, no oak, not too ripe, not too underripe, that can work well. A Shiraz Grenache can work quite well if the Shiraz is not too structured. It's about having wine that's kind of juicy and fruit driven, rather than looking for red wine with good structure and tannins, which is what we like to see when we're trying to match it to, a slow cooked lamb dish or a really nice piece of fillet steak, which needs a bit of tannin, a bit of acid, and a bit of savouriness to kind of add to the enjoyment of the food. So I think one of the things that's really cool about this Pinot Gris on skins is that it goes with a lot of foods that most of our other Moorooduc wines don't go with. So that's why I have so much fun with the food and wine matching. Hello, Penny. Lovely to see you. It has been a while. Good work. Yeah, I hope you're having something to nibble on. But in Indian food, it's a bit like saying Chinese food, saying Indian food, because different parts of India have very different traditions with their foods. And so if you're in Kerala, then you'll have one style of food. You know, that's about as good as I get with my Indian geography. But, up around Bombay, Madrid, they're going to have very different cuisines. So that's also going to have an influence on the flavour profile of the food, and I think there are certain spices that really make it hard for wine. Turmeric is quite hard on wine because it has that bitterness to it. What are those? Cardamom. Cardamom also has. It's got a sort of. It's sort of like a bitter, resinous kind of a character to it, which doesn't work very well with wine. It's quite hard. Craig had Thai at a restaurant last night, and the wine you bought, aged Shannon, worked really well. Yes, I think aged wine nerd wine that you brought. Yeah, absolutely. I think aged Chenin, even aged Chenin with a little bit of residual sugar, can work really well with Thai food because it's got the high acid. And when you think about Thai food's all about the balance between sweet and spicy and acid and salty. And if you talk to any Thai chefs, the most important thing is getting that balance right. There's got to be some sweetness. There's got to be some acid. There's got to be some saltiness. There's got to be some sourness. And if you find a wine that does all those things as well, then it's got more of a chance of handling the flavours of Thai food. Penny's not having much, bit disorganised. That's all right, Penny. I think a lot of people have gone for Indian takeaway tonight, so you can get that and get a bottle of the wine and enjoy it another time. So, nom nom nom. Richard's bringing me some more wine. Thank you. Thank you very much. It's got to that looks better, doesn't it? It's got to that stage. I'm very glad, Penny. It's got to that stage with a little bit of a top up. You get the strawberries back again. You get rose petal, which I wasn't seeing before, but it's come out in the wine. Do you want some of that, Paul? I really don't think you're going to like it. Polly likes onion bhajis. I don't think onion bhajis are very good for dogs. I don't think you can have too much, Paul, because onion's not something that that dogs are supposed to eat, apparently. Loans, blood orange skin. Yes, absolutely. It does balance the juicy ripeness and the fleshy fruits. Are you having it with Indian tonight, Loans? Did you manage to get some Indian food to go with it? I think, as we know, this wine is just a beautiful wine to have with a lovely cheese and charcuterie platter. It's lovely to have on its own as a knockoff work drink. But I hope that matching it with, I'm going to try and get myself some tandoori chicken one of these days soon, because I've got a few bottles of this stashed in my cellar. So I'm going to try it with tandoori chicken. I think that would be rather lovely. Curried chicken sausages sounds pretty good. Penny, I think it is right. Knowing what wines will go with the Indian food is really tough. But I think a skinsy white like this does work very, very well. So give it a crack. Well, team, I'm enjoying the wine. I'm enjoying the spice. I'm feeling a little bit flushed now from the spiciness of my bhajis and the warmth from outside. We've had a very gentle sunset tonight. It's not worth showing it to you, but it's been very gentle. It's all looking rather lovely, and I've realised that I haven't checked what we're tasting next week at all. I think it might be Jeff's wine next week, is it? Yep, Pete says, yep, it's Jeff's Shiraz next week. The Old Girl, which will be great fun. Hopefully we might be able to get Jeff on the call. If not in person, we might be able to get him on the chat, which would be really lovely, so he can tell us a little bit about the wine. Craig, are we completely finished vintage now? Well, we're having our end of vintage party this Sunday. So that will officially be the end of vintage then. Jeremy has gone away for 3 days, which is awesome. Cheers, Jeremy. I hope that you're not watching. I hope you're enjoying sitting by the pool. He's not? Jeremy's cooking barbecue steaks up on the border with friends, which is lovely. Burgers with Shiraz, Fiona. I think that's a great idea. We've got Jeff's Shiraz. I will find my favourite burger recipe. If people want to get takeaway burgers, by all means, if you want to get dirty old Maccas, then you absolutely can. You're all grown-ups and you're all responsible for your own actions. There's a lot of good hamburgers out there from hamburger shops and fish and chip shops. But if we have hamburgers next week, we'll be making them here at Moorooduc. I think there might have to be some cheese in the hamburger as well to make it a cheeseburger, because that's how I roll. So that's a great idea. Thank you, Fiona. It's also the Thursday before Easter, so hopefully most of you will be able to join us, but I do understand if Easter gets in the way. Kangaroo mince burgers for a challenge. I think that sounds like a great idea, Craig. Shell and Andrew will be onto that as well, I'm sure. Yeah, so next week, burgers, kangaroo mince if you like. We'll find a few options and I'll send them through. Also, I need to tell you guys, and I know that there's only a limit of you on the chat, so it's a bit, I'll have to send out an email next week, but we're in the process of transferring across to the new system. We're hoping that we can migrate everyone across, but there's a lot of people who are on the Drinks with Kate mailing list who don't jump on the chat, so we don't recognise you as sort of regulars from your little sign-ins here on the chat, and you haven't bought the box for a while. Now, I'm very happy for anybody to jump on Drinks with Kate without the wine and not on the chat. What I want to say is if we do lose you in the next couple of weeks when we move over to the new system, can you please send me an email and we'll get you on the, we'll make sure that you're properly signed up, at least to get the newsletter for Drinks with Kate. From the new system. We're just having a few little hiccups with segments and tags and things. So those of you who are here tonight chatting to me, you're very well recognised on the lists, and you're definitely all across. But I'm sure there are going to be people out there who might be a little shy and might have dropped off. If that's the case, please let us know. You may also have noticed on the new website that we don't have a sign up button for the Drinks with Kate newsletter yet. We're working on that too. So hopefully in the next couple of weeks we'll have that on the website, and people who just want to get the emails can get the emails. There'll probably be more updates to this coming on because there's other things that are proving to be a little bit tricky at the moment. But if you ever don't get the email and you just need the link, go to the YouTube studio, Moorooduc Estate Live, and you'll find us there. And I think a lot of you are probably subscribed to the YouTube station as well. So hopefully everyone who wants to find us can find us. I like your kangaroo mince burger idea, Craig. I will be working on that. So until next week, there'll be some emails coming out. A few more emails than usual at the moment, so I hope you can bear with us. I'm going to go and eat another onion budgie. I hope you all have a lovely night. Thank you very much. Cheers to the drinks. Cheers to the Drinks with Kate team. Cheers to the Pinot Gris on Skins 2023. For the smart ones amongst you who have got some of that in your cellar, enjoy it over the next little while. It's not going anywhere for a long time, I don't think. I think that'll do interesting things if you want to keep it for a number of years, but also just drink it when you feel like it. Kevin will be doing his American style smash burgers. Sounds awesome. See you then, everyone. Bye, Alison. Bye, everyone. Cheers.